Hello, BookTube, and we're here live tonight with Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics. And how is everybody? And nobody's there yet. At least nobody showed up yet. So how you
Yeah,
doing
I'm
today?
sure it takes a while. I do like MJ's live one. MJ said she couldn't make it tonight, and Nathan at forget his channel name, but he's on our group reads. He can't make it. Everybody's telling me they can't make it, so I'll be surprised if the people who show up.
Well, it's showing that there's one person here now, and then usually when I say that, they disappear. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I was on a live one with you and Mark that one time, but since I used my phone, I kept it wasn't a good connection, but it was
yeah,
fun. I always like your and Mark your live streams.
Greg's here. Hello, Greg.
Hey, my friend, Greg in West or no Virginia. I mean,
Yeah, so that's
I
he's 6 o'clock there. So yeah, I think that's 6 o'clock for Greg. I think.
yeah, I got Greg in I got a couple friends in Virginia, then I have one in West Virginia. Uh,
Yeah,
I
it's glad
swear
to
that
be here, Greg. So yeah, and I think you're doing okay, Alan. I think we were chatting before we went live.
yeah, I talked to Greg on the phone today. I've got his number. I'll give it out in the chat later. But
Direct
just
dial,
kidding.
direct dial.
Yeah, yeah, but Greg's like what's it saying? He's we're doing Real of Mouse coming up second week of December. Mouse one and two. I don't have two yet,
Yeah,
but
Nathan at the Rambling Reviewer was saying mouse. I had to think about what he was talking about, and then it dawned on me that's what he was talking about. So Greg's in this as well, is he?
yeah, and Criminale and MJ and Nathan and some other people. That's why I hate sir. I want to stop naming like talking about names and group reads because inevitably I leave somebody out, and I hate that, and because
Yeah.
I know how it feels to be.
So yeah, Mark's here at Book Time with Elvis, wanting royalties for the thumbnails for the video.
Yeah. Hey, Mark. Yeah, I can't see that. Yeah, no kid, Mark. I thank you for that thumbnail. That was good. The marijuana leaf, that was a extra nice touch. I didn't have that in this thumbnail, but yeah, man. So Friday night in the city.
So what's your T-shirt there? You've got. I first of all said, well, I thought it was a gorilla, and then you said Yeti, and I always thought Yetis were in Asia, but you saying that you call it in the Pacific Northwest Yeti as well for Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Yeah, if Greg can chime in here too, or we call it Sasquatch, and I was telling Sean earlier I have a bumper sticker somewhere that says I break for Sasquatch, but this is I call it Yeti. I like to buy my father in Phoenix Christmas like stupid Christmas sweaters with like a Yeti all green with snowflakes all over and Merry Christmas, with a Yeti on it. I'm crazy like that.
I think the best Christmas card I ever got was for somebody. It said, Santa cannot make it to Christmas this time. He's been thrown in jail for laying dolls beneath the Christmas tree.
God, Sean, funny man. But no, I actually got my dad this shirt too. Last year or the year before, so we're like twins.
Uh,
Yeah.
well,
So
it's kind of cool. I like the way with the sky and then the and the like the
trees.
trees. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I like living in Portland. I've been up here only 11 years. I did a lot of time in Arizona when it was a red state. Now it's a blue state, if that makes since our English friends
Now,
used to
when
be
you said
really conservative.
you did time in Arizona, you may
I
need
mean,
to
literally, yeah.
yeah, you may need to clarify that.
Oh, yeah. Arizona, it was good and bad for me. I mean, I had a son, and I graduated from Arizona State University. Had a real strong MFA, Master of Fine Arts Creative Writing program. Now, a lot of writers in America, and maybe England too, there's that argument if the MFA Creative Writing program is good or bad for a writer. I can argue both points, but
Well, I think to somebody who has the ability or creative, it's probably helpful. And to
well,
one's
the
parents,
workshops and the connections you meet, the networking. I met a lot of famous poets, Dennis Johnson. A lot of famous people who are dead now, unfortunately. But and then your peers, you're writing with your peers, the money, the scratch.
hmm,
But now Biden's forgiven. I'm in debt on student loans myself. Want to go there, but I'm talking about people like Matt Wall and other people on BookTube and PoetryTube who, say an MFA, don't waste your money, it's not worth it. And I can argue that point too.
hmm.
But
Mark asks here, why is Bigfoot not big feet?
or little feet. I'm going to put on some little feet right now. Don't get me started with the little feet. We'll start jamming in a second. I got my guitar right here.
Yeah, I don't think there is a Canada's poet laureate, and I haven't been back, so I don't think they'd have me.
I'm getting new glasses, by the way, soon. See how I have bifocals right now. That's why I'm always going like that.
Oh,
Can't
I
see
can't
shit.
stand bifocals. I have two pairs, one for reading and one for reading, one for distance.
I met this Washington poet laureate. She spoke at my apartment complex.
Oh, they actually call okay, because yeah, I only know poet laureate for England. I didn't
Yeah,
know
she's
that
in
they used
Washington.
that for other places.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's one for the United States, and there's one for every state. She was a Washington poet laureate. She's
Oh,
got
so
books out.
there might be a poet laureate for Canada. Then I have no idea. It's
I'm
not
sure
me.
there is.
It's not me though.
No, yeah. I got your book on order, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
waiting.
been trying to get a PDF of it, but that hasn't surfaced yet. So thank you. But Greg was saying that he's was eating, and then he's saying that he stayed away from Bigfoot people when he was in the Pacific Northwest.
Well, I have some inside information. Greg's on his own tonight. His wife's out playing pickleball, so he's got ask us some good questions. I know you and Sean have been in the sci-fi uh, readathon, whatever.
Yeah, the New World's November. I don't think Greg was doing Hell for the Holidays. I don't think you were, Greg. Not sure, but we're doing another sort of group read. A few of us doing a group read of Alistair Reynolds, and Greg's jumped right on it, and I think he's finished it before he finished the first novelette before the December 1st even dawned, I think.
Yeah, I was talking to Greg, Sean. So I'm telling you, so it's not behind your back anymore. We were talking about the recognitions and
Oh
how
yeah,
we moved that from January to March. So
yeah.
that filled up a nice time slot in January for me. And but my December TBR got filled up quick, really did.
Yeah, well, every month pretty well is, and I can't remember when we're gonna redo Joyce as well, Ulysses at some point. I can't remember when that is. I got it written down, I think.
Okay, well, Una is going to do that, like sometime. The Codex Cantina, and I'm going to buy that 1922 Catherine Flynn Canterbury Centennial Edition, $35. It's going to be my Christmas present to myself. But then we're doing Milton in February.
Yes, yeah, I still got to get a copy of it. Yeah, yeah, no, Greg, yeah, Greg did the New Worlds Novembers, but not Hal for the Holidays. And Mark was saying, yeah, he's reminded me that we're doing The Hobbit, and I
Oh,
picked
you guys
up
doing
a,
that?
I got it down here somewhere.
You
I just
know, I might give that another shot. My girlfriend or my baby's mama, I never use that phrase, but she is. Don't get me started. Charity, okay? See, but she loved J.R.R. Tolkien, and I tried to get in it. I tried to read The Hobbit. I've tried to never could get into it, but I might join you guys
yeah,
if you'll have me.
yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, because I can add you. There's a few of us doing it. I haven't started it. Mark's been keen. He started as well. I didn't have a copy, so I went around looking for one. I've got the Lord of the Rings, which we're going to read in January, but I bought a box set. It's a bit faded on the spine, but it was £5. It was cheapest, like to buy this box set from somebody off of eBay rather than buy it separately. The Hobbit.
Okay, now when are you doing The Hobbit again? What month?
Anytime now. We're reading it this month.
Oh,
So
okay. I think I might have to pass on that. I'll have to catch up, but now I don't promote Barnes and Noble per se, but this is a good edition of Milton.
oh,
It
okay.
has, yeah, Paradise Lost, and then we're going to read some essays too, right, by Milton and that.
Yeah, I was talking about the paperbacks, the Barnes and Nobles paperbacks with Scott at the Bookish Bryants, and well, a few of us were talking, and they're well made. They're well made. Oh, is that a Dory?
Just an illustration, Downfall of Rebel Angels, and it's Blake,
Oh, it's
William
Blake. Oh,
Blake.
oh yeah, yeah, he did that. Yeah.
So that's the Barnes and Noble edition. It's a good edition. And I went through this with Roz Scaladamline and Stephanie Cohen and some others. So I've got some annotations there, man.
Yeah, it's a long time since I've read it. So yeah, so I'll see if I can maybe find that one. So I
Well,
match what
it
you.
doesn't matter. I'm just saying we're gonna have fun. Me, you, and Greg.
Yeah, Mark was saying that yeah, we're up against Steve's stream because like less than 4 hours. I had this posted 24 hours ago almost, and Steve comes along and then puts up a live stream 4 hours ago or so.
Yeah, gotta love him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually reading this. It's really short, so I don't know if I'll get to it this week. It might be next week before I get to it. The Hobbit.
Hang on, I gotta hook up my battery.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this because it's something that I've never read. I know the story. I haven't seen the films, the Peter Jackson films, but I've seen the cartoon that was done that I enjoyed. I've listened to a radio play of it, so I'm aware of the story. Oh, it starts right out with runish sort of whatever they call it, hobbit-ish writing or whatever it was called.
You'll have to, like I said, I'm really unfamiliar with Tolkien.
Yeah, it's just something that I just never got around to reading for some reason. Because I've never been a huge fantasy person. Like I never really cared for fantasy that much, but I read a little bit of it. But this is the granddaddy of all of most fantasy that's been written today. So
I like fantasy, you know. I mean, if Ken Follett is fantasy, I'm buddy reading the the prequel to Pillars of the Earth with Fee, Jeremy Fee. We're
is
gonna
that?
read
But that
that. It's
that's not
called
fantasy.
Midnight or Evening and Midnight, something like that.
But
Ken Follett.
is that fan? I didn't think that was fantasy. I thought that was just a straight up historical novel.
No, no, it's made up fantasy.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
I kind of wouldn't mind reading the Pillars, his series of books.
that's a great book. I mention it once in a while in my videos. It's a book I threw across the room, kind of. I was riding on a bus in Phoenix when one of the main character dies, and I was so invested in him that I went ah, and everybody turned and looked at me on the bus, and I held up the book, and they go, "Oh, he's just reading. It's okay." But
Yeah, he's reading. He's a strange person. So for everybody else.
but I went ah, they killed him. Spoiler alert: Pillars of the Earth. Yeah, I didn't say the character's name.
Isn't it? Well, wait a minute, because he's done a couple things. His Pillars of the Earth is the one about the cathedral, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I've read all Kurt, or I mean Kurt. I say Kurt Vonnegut. That's Monday, but Ken Follett. I've read all his stuff. His early stuff is all like espionage and spy thrillers,
Yeah,
Jack Dawes, and
that's
he's
what
a
I was
great writer.
familiar with. And then somebody told me they were reading this, and I go, "Do you mean Ken Follett?" And I was a bit surprised because I hadn't heard from him for a long time. But yeah, Greg is saying that he's read a lot of Michael Moorcock fantasy in high school. But yeah, I have to relook at Michael Moorcock. I never really cared for him before, but I will. I do need to look at him and other sort of new wave writers that I've sort of left behind for science fiction, especially. It's his fault that everything changed in 1966.
I'm unfamiliar with him, but you and I were talking. You did that short on Philip Jose Farmer, and Brian jumped in. Um, Brian at Bookish on I read him in high school,
Yeah,
and I just love that River World series with the mushrooms provide food, but if you get caught sitting on them, they blow up and kill you. But that's okay because you'll reincarnate down by the river. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. It's I
that's
love that
cool.
series. I'm collecting the books again to reread it. But he's not. His other series are the World of Tears. I think the one that I was holding up and doing was I think a World of Tears novel, and then there's the Day World series, and just he's just uh, just a strange like he. I like his stuff. It's strange, but he's got an interesting imagination. Let's put it that way.
And then
He'll do anything and
and then
everything.
his characters are famous people like Richard Burton and
Yeah.
Tom Mix and
Yeah, and even characters like he'll have Tarzan in stories like he's got a novel that's with Tarzan. Lord Greystoke teams up with Sherlock Holmes as well.
wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
Marcus,
I'm pretty ignorant about Sherlock Holmes and you know Doyle. I really am.
you what?
I'm ignorant. I'm damn straight ignorant about it. I'm ignorant.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I need to
love.
rectify that. Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I love.
Um,
But his other stuff is good too, like the Lost World. Some of his historical sort of novels are good as well. Mark is saying here, I think the only fantasy series he's read is Sergey. I've never read that. I know of the Night Watch series, but that's it.
Over my head.
And he's saying he's really enjoyed it. But yeah, fantasy comes in a lot of a lot of guises. That's the thing, because it depends on how you define fantasy.
Yeah. Well, do you defy like Thomas Pynchon fantasy? I could argue that point.
Yeah,
Thomas
well, that's the thing.
Pynchon being fantasy.
Like a lot of people just call everything science fiction fantasy because it's not real. It is fantasy in a sense, science fantasy and all this kind of stuff. But it like the modern word though that you use has a lot of baggage. It means this kind of thing,
Right. Yeah.
dragons and all sorts of stuff like that. It just has that connotation. When somebody says fantasy now, this is usually what they think of, is something like this.
True.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
Mark says, all fiction is fantasy. I like to think of it as fantastic fiction. If it's anything that's different from when you look out the window and see on the street, and people do other things than what you see out there, normal everyday things, it's fantasy. It's fantastic. But that's, you could argue, people have argued that for over a century and continuing arguing it. There was a joke that you get 10 science fiction fans in a room and you'll get 15 definitions of science fiction. So it'd be the same with fantasy. So what else are you reading this month? You've got Mouse. You're doing what else are you doing? Is that John Irving? Yeah.
His new one. I just got it. Now MJ said in one of her videos how like he holds on a book from the library. It's a library book.
Yeah.
So it's a brand new book, his latest release. So it took me, and I jumped right on it. I'm a big John Irving fan now, and he's compared with Dickens often. He's like our American Dickens. So I started this book, and I'm about 55 pages into it, but it wasn't on my TBR, and it just popped up, so I have to kind of. Although I'd like to get into it, I need to keep up with my TBR.
Yeah, I've got well, my reading is mostly science fiction this month, I think. Then I got to get caught up with a couple projects that I've been doing. So, but yeah, what else? What's that? I can't. Oh yeah, that's fabulous. I haven't read that in a long time. Yeah.
3 people equals a buddy read. We got a boxer group going on this. We're having great fun. Claire Shepard, who's a English woman, she's in Devon, England. Yeah. You know, so and then reading with the great Jelly Library, Flo over there.
Yeah.
If you've never heard her channel, she's great. Talk about Christmas. She's in the spirit. She's one that decorates, but yeah, we're reading. This is like my third, fourth time reading this. I just love it. It's in New Orleans, And
yeah, I haven't read that in well, I don't know, a long time. Yeah, Greg said, I guess, yeah. Are you both reading Galapagos?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a different cover. I haven't seen that one. That must be a newer cover.
Yeah, it's the first edition. I paid 157 pounds for it, but it's worth it. No, I got it off Thrift Books. It was less than $5.
Yeah, I could never get into Vonnegut.
But again,
Really,
yeah, I enjoy him, but I hear you. A lot of people don't like Vadiga. Don't like his sarcasm and just don't like him. But I do.
yeah. Well, he is popular. Yeah, and like I say, a lot of this stuff, like many writers that I've read like 30, 40 years ago that either liked or didn't like, or some I liked and I never read anything more. Some I didn't like at that time and never looked at them again. And then now I'm just revisiting stuff that I read in my youth, I guess you would say.
Well, next time you find yourself in a bookshop and you come across the old Vadigan for like under $5, pick it up. And I'd
Yeah,
like to, yeah, yeah, do me a favor and or I'll send you one
yeah.
because
Well,
he's great.
that would probably cost you more than you can buy it.
Yeah, true.
Problem.
Right.
That's the
And if I still worked in the tea place, or Smith Tea Maker, I'd send you some tea. You're a tea drinker, aren't you?
yeah, yeah.
Man, I worked at the tea factory. I sent Greg's son. I sent everybody tea, little
Tea's the
boxes of tea. Because I get it free, of course. It was a fun place to work. And now they're effing me. My Social Security. Do you know what that is,
yeah,
Sean?
yeah.
Yeah, they cut off. I get two like payments a month, or used to for the past 20, 25 years. I have, and they cut off my 580, my biggest one. So for the past 2 months, I've been surviving off just because I work too much in like 2020 and 21.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Saying it costs $24 to ship a paperback to the UK.
no, I
So
don't. I haven't shipped a book. Roz and I send back and forth. I've got she sent me this among others, but I'm waiting for it. Like I like to read with Audible and the text as well. Sometimes. You guys familiar with this book?
yeah, which one is that? The blue. I'm not sure the blue flower. I've read some of hers. What she's written the one something called the bookshop, I think, which is
Oh,
good. I think it's the bookshop or something like that. It's about a bookshop. Um, I'm pretty sure it's Penelope Fitzgerald.
yeah, the bookshop.
Yeah, yeah,
The
I
book,
like that one. I think they made a film of it as well just recently. That
yeah,
seems to be good.
yeah. Ross sent me a personal postcard of Paul Camus. It got damaged. I think I got candle wax on it or paint, and I had to scrape it off. But yeah, Russ, I made this book and a cute card. Well made on BookTube.
Yeah, well that's the thing. It's like it's weird how internet social media brings people together. And first it was Twitter for me, and there's people I'm still in contact with after a decade. And then now BookTube, and it's like the New World's November group that we did that Greg was part of. Like he probably woke up every morning and saw like dozens and dozens of messages on the Voxer group, and Mark too, because it was very active. It was a very active group, and a lot of the people never, you know, a few of them never participated in things before, so it was really great. It was a really really good year that the Bookish Bryants that was their second year for the New World's November.
Yeah, I subscribe to Bookish Brian, so I need to talk more to Steve especially about tarot. He was a professional tarot reader like I was too.
Yeah, Yeah, that was I that came out of the blue because I knew you did because you'd mentioned it many times, but I didn't realize Scott had, you know.
Oh, Scott, yeah, and I call him Steve. Huh? Yeah, we haven't got a chance to really talk at all or chat, but I do subscribe to his channel. And yeah.
Yeah, and then in
So
fact,
who's still up here? Who's with us? How many people we have? I can't.
well, we did have four before you said that, and then as soon as you say it, we dropped down to three. So yeah,
Ah,
I think it's either the timing or Steve's stream has got everybody because they'll go to Steve's stream. No, oh, we're back up to five now. So
all right. Because if you want, we can talk about Lovecraft. You know, if Greg's here. Uh,
yeah, yeah. If
but
you want to,
but
yeah, you're doing the Cthulhu Christmas, aren't you?
but yeah, I don't need to. We don't need to promote it, especially if you don't particularly like it, Sean. You know.
I have nothing against him. It's just I haven't. I do want to reread him, but I'm not ready to do that at this moment.
I see. I'm sure you know more about the stories than I do. I'm just starting out, but I do have this good edition, and
We're
three people on our boxer have the same edition.
hello, yeah, and yeah, like a lot of like it
Hey,
is.
wait, that's Mark. Hey, Mark. Mark's an Englishman too. Mark's a poet. I know Mark. Hey, Mark. He hasn't been publishing or posting on BookTube lately, but glad to
Okay, yeah.
see you, Mark.
Book thing. Oh, hi. You're just you don't have anything to say. Well, you've said something now. But yeah, Greg's doing his dishes at the moment. So, what
Yeah,
did you have
we're
to eat?
last here.
Well, what did you have to eat, Greg?
If I had a joint, I'd fire it up, but I have the next best thing, you know. We do vapor in Portland. But I'm glad to see my friend Mark.
But yeah, no, it's like Lovecraft. It's somebody I've read in the past, but I never continued reading. And it's somebody that I do want. I've got the annotated editions, and that's how I was going to attack it. And I was going to do it last year, or no, the earlier this year. I was going to read a few things for Horror Mayhem, but I never got around to it. So maybe depends on how things are this year for May.
I've only read a few stories and I'm going to start over. But like I've read the Dunwich Horror, but I can't talk about it. I've read The Shadow over Innsmouth. I mean, his stories are long, complicated, you know.
Yeah, like those I've read before. Yeah, Greg was saying he had pot roast with potatoes and jalapenos.
Yeah, he was telling me he had to go to the market to get, he had to go to the bodega to get some jalapenos, some fresh ones.
Yeah, Mark is saying he lurks around in the shadows. But yeah, yeah, Lovecraft. Well, I know there's he is big on YouTube. That I mean, or BookTube. Michael K. Vaughan's a big proponent of Lovecraft.
Yeah, and Criminality too.
Yeah.
Criminality is. Criminality has the same edition I do, and also a woman. She's got a BookTube channel. Greg, if you can put it in here for me, Christians with a K. But yeah, I'm hosting. So basically, I'm hosting the Cthulhu, you know, Christmas. Yet I can't pronounce it, and yet I've never read Lovecraft before. You know,
Mark at Book Time with Elvis saying he's guessing that pot roast has a different meaning for you, Alan.
ah, indeedy do, indeedy do. But no, I talked to Greg earlier on the phone, and because his wife is off playing pickleball, and Greg, Greg gave me permission to tell the story, by the way. So, you know, Greg doesn't like pickleball, and that's his choice. But Chris does, so she's out playing pickleball. So Greg had to do a pot roast. Now it's not like a microwave pot roast; it's a real pot roast. He microwaved it, but somebody made it first.
Okay, well,
No,
there's two things there. I know what a pot roast is. What the hell is pickleball?
pickleball. Oh, it's the latest thing. It's like tennis, but in ping pong. Paddles, but you play doubles on tennis. But you use the front uh, area, don't use the back area. So it's like doubles just on tennis. You play with like a wiffle ball kind of.
Okay, so it's
Tom
on a
Brady's
ping
starting
pong
to.
table. So it's a ping
No, it's
pong.
on a tennis court.
So
It's
it's
on a tennis
racquetball. It's
court.
like racquetball, or I don't know. I don't know
It's
what
on
I've
a
never
tennis
heard of.
court, but with paddles and a bigger ball than a tennis ball, like a wiffle ball, but on
Oh,
a tennis court.
okay, not something I've ever seen before.
Oh, it's all the rage in America.
Yeah, no,
Tom
I never.
Brady's going to make a professional Tom Brady. You know him, the football player, American football.
Well, when you talk about anything that talks about sports, it just right over my
Uh,
head.
well, Tom Brady is going to start a professional pickleball team. In fact, he already has. Pickleball's the rage in America.
Something that's new. Then is it something that's just somebody has created it recently, or has it
No,
been
it's been around for a couple of years. It was big in the summer. Casey, what Greg said.
yeah?
Pickleball court is half of a tennis court. Like I'm saying, a tennis court, but pickleball is just the front two cues. You know,
So do you bounce it off a wall? Is it like handball or something? Or
no, no,
so if
no.
you
It's a
only use the
tennis
front
court.
part, but
It's
if you
a
only use
tennis
one
court.
half of it,
Yeah, you can slap that thing. So or you can be leisurely. That's what I'm saying. I just want a leisurely game. I'm not up there to be
yeah. But
hitting.
if you're using half the court of a tennis court, what's the other half then? Who's on the other? There's no one in the other half.
If they hit it past you, you're done. So it's a battle. You're battling up there.
So I'm confused. You're saying it's only one half of a tennis court. So like you mean the size, or it literally half of a court?
Literally.
Oh, okay, but it's still you got two sides across the net. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's what I was confused because you're saying the
Yeah,
front.
yeah, Greg. Yeah, it's Greg's fault.
I have no idea who the Drew Brees.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but so did Tom Brady too. They got pro teams over here, Sean,
So
for
yeah, so
pickleball.
created in the '60s. Yeah, I've never heard of it. Oh, Jason's here. Jason Harrigan.
Hey, my friend, cilantro. Cilantro. Getting ready for the eco-a-thon. I was talking
What is it?
Was I talking to you, Sean, or Greg about my? I've got two eco books. I've got the Mysterious Flame of Queen Leona. Really good copy of this with the color photos in it. Then
Yeah,
I've
I
got
that one. I've read that one. I enjoyed that one.
that too.
Yeah, I
Hardback,
haven't heard that one.
brand new, brand new.
Yeah, I haven't read that one before. Yeah. Well, Mark wants to know why is it called pickleball?
I used to know a dirty poem about a pickle. Let me see if I can remember it.
Uh,
A dirty limerick about. Oh, I think my never mind. I'm good. My
yeah.
battery keeps threatening to go out.
Oh, did you plug it in or?
No, I'll have to move over there. So what's up in County Clare, Jason?
Yeah, I guess he's. I haven't seen him on BookTube for a while, so
He took a sabbatical.
Name of the Rose is on its way. Oh, okay. So you got Name of the Rose coming.
Oh, okay.
Alan.
All right.
I've got
Thank you.
I've got a paperback of that somewhere. I'll have to find it. But I do need to get. I think the two that I'm definitely going to do are rereading Name of the Rose and read Folkut's Pendulum, which I haven't read. So
Well, that's Jason's gonna carry us through that. Now, I have a hardback edition of Foucault's Pendulum, but it's in the box in F and Phoenix, which I'll get next summer. If from my father who's going to come up here, he comes up every other year. But if it doesn't come out right, I'll buy a copy of it. But because Foucault's Pendulum is all about the tree of life, got to see that, right?
yeah, I'm not how. Well, I sort of vaguely know what it's about, but I'm definitely going to read, or I'm going to try to read those two. I don't know where they're going to fall in to Jason's schedule for that, if unless he's going to do them chronologically.
I think he is.
Uh, oh, um, Mark's going to do all um, of the eco. I'd like to, but I don't know. There's just so much that I'll be doing next year, and it's just an added thing because there's so many great things that are happening, and then like Michael K. Vaughan's doing his complete Edgar Rice Burroughs, and it was like, oh, I'd really love to do that.
Yeah, so FOMO, fucking FOMO. I hear you. But and we were talking before for the new anybody new coming up. Sean and Greg and I were doing Milton in February. Then the recognitions in January. But that gives us some leeway a little bit, Sean.
Yeah, January. I've got a few short things. Oh, wait a minute. I can't remember now. There's could be January. No, January. That I think there's a few people reading the Count of Monte Cristo, and I might do because I wanted to reread that, so I
Dumas.
might do that in January now. So
I love that fucking book, man. I read that book in prison. And yeah, Alexander Dumas. I love that
yeah,
book.
and then yeah, recognitions in March because I've never read anything by him, so this will be interesting. So I definitely was interested in that. I wanted to do. I just wasn't well enough to do the. I wanted to reread Middlemarch that Greg did. We were supposed to do it, I think, in August, and or was it October? I can't remember now. Oh, you're reading. Oh, crikey! So that means I'm reading Les Miserables and Count of Monte Cristo in January then. So I'm glad that has, yeah, William Gaddis, but yeah, I haven't read that either. So
Yeah, Greg and I read it with who did we read it with, Greg? Maybe just us. This is a trippy, funny book. I'm leaning to, funny books lately. Like I threw this up. We're having a great time reading this. One of my favorite all-time books. And then Finnegan's Wake, all-time funny book. People don't realize Finnegan's Wake is the most funniest book ever written. Like, hello. Uh,
what Mark say? Well, what are you meaning there? Which in February and March? I'm not sure.
We're doing recognitions in March for
Yeah,
March
sorry, Mark
Madness.
mentioned something, and I'm not sure what he meant there. Like he,
Ignatius is my hero. Great, mine too. Yeah,
and then
it's
Mark
so
saying that
effing funny, man.
February, March probably. So, I see what he means. He'd be reading Les Mis. But yeah, see, like if I wind up doing both those, depends on how I feel. That's a good week and a half of my whole reading period for the for January, and I have other things. But I'm glad recognitions has been put back.
Yeah, that opened up January for us because we got Milton in February.
Oh, there's Gareth's here, book songs and other magic.
Hey, Gareth. Yeah, I keep trying to get Gareth to jam with me somehow, like I do with Dane Cobain. So I got another channel just under my name, Alan Mahan, and I'm not trying to promote it. I'm just saying, I'm trying to get Gareth to do something on guitar, sing to me. I'll do harp on it. But yeah, I'm trying to tempt him into doing that. Show me
That's
the money, he said.
that's
Huh.
a big thing. It's like it. The youngins do it a lot on TikTok. That's a huge thing on TikTok where they do something and then somebody else adds something else and it gets moved on and they keep adding things.
Fuck the Chinese.
What?
The
Uh,
Chinese.
guys, I didn't think it was
TikTok.
possible to come
No, I
online.
don't do TikTok. And you were talking about Twitter earlier. Don't never did Twitter. Uh, just Facebook, and I did MySpace back in the day. I was really hooked up back in the day. I remember when God in college, internet hit. It was all .edu, not like .com or .gov. It was edu and like academia. But I'm glad
Yeah,
to see Gareth here. Thank you. I'm glad you joined us.
yeah. Like I remember the internet in the late '80s where it was Jughead and there was no graphics. It was all it was basically news groups and yeah, that was it. But yeah, Gareth was saying, yeah, you didn't think it was possible to jam online, but yeah, people do like the TikTok thing is where one person maybe sings and then somebody else takes that video and then adds a instrument to it, and then somebody else takes both those, adds something else to it, and they keep going on. And sometimes there's like 6 or 7 of them, and there's been some really good stuff that I've seen that has come out of that that is really cool. So, and I assume you could do well. You should be able to do the same. Yeah,
Well,
with
Garrett's a professional musician, so he knows more than I do, and you do too, Sean, probably. But because me and Dane Cobain do it on a shoestring. He sends me the guitar part of Bob Dylan, and I'll do it on. I have like 2 phones. Is all I work with. I work with 2 phones. And that, but so yeah, I'd like to collaborate with Gareth. Sure.
yeah,
Now, do I want to bring this up again? Any interest in Alan Moore? Or?
yeah. Just like yeah, Greg is saying that he remember FidoNet in the '80s and early '90s. Not sure if remember that, um, but yeah, I
Oh,
remember.
Greg goes way back into why. I want to wish you happy birthday to me on December 27th of December. That sounded retarded, but that's my birthday, and I'll be 59. I don't believe it. 59 going on 15, my friends.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Uh, Greg said, not Greg. Gareth says that he can definitely send you something. So yeah, so there you go. You'll have a duet going. But yeah, like I remember in the early '80s, using first being exposed to the bulletin boards and Usenet, and I've used, well, not recently, but I've always loved Usenet, the news groups.
I'm
Uh,
going to take does anybody remember CB radios? Was that a like
yeah,
CB like breaker 19? Keep
yeah,
on trucking the CB. I'm going to take a, number 100. I'm going to take a break. Pit
okay,
stop. Okay, I'll be back in uh, less than a minute, I bet.
okay. Well, I'll hold the fort.
Thank
But
you.
I remember the internet stuff. I remember posting books for a bookshop in the early '80s on bulletin boards, and not doing too well, or even on news groups. And it was funny that I spoke to booksellers in the around that time, and they thought that they were it was pretty good. But then by the early '90s, they thought it was bad. Yeah, hopefully he turns. Yeah, I hope he turns. Yeah. Well, I think he's far enough away, Jason. Well, you had your chance, Mark, to come on earlier at 6, but yeah, I know you're not feeling well. So, oh yeah, I never used AOL. I never ever used it. I didn't actually have internet until probably 93. I had my own internet. I think it was about 1993, 92, late 92 or 93. But yeah, but yeah, well, coming back, oh yeah, I remember CompuServe. Yeah, CompuServe was around. But yeah, before this sort of delves into uh old guy internet. But you mentioned you held up Alan Moore's um uh oh
From hell.
yeah, from hell, yeah.
Look at this brick. It's got to be over 900 pages long, and the print is so small.
Yeah.
Look. But like Adam Savage told me, don't read the appendix or the notes until you just read through it. Other people, uh, oh, who else is a big Alan Moore fan? I forget. But Adam Savage is a Joycean. He's got a great channel under his name. He's in Malaysia right now. If I'm keeping track, he's like a world traveler. Really cool channel. Is
Yeah,
Jason still on?
yeah. Gareth saying that the chat groups. Yeah, I never really like I'd seen stuff on the chat groups, but I never I saw it through a different way, but not on AOL. It came through me a different way, and there were other chat groups in other places, probably taking off of AOL. Yeah, well, I've blocked those. I blocked those, Mark. They're gone. Yeah, we had a porn bot for a second. Oh, you've gone sideways.
Oh shit.
Oh, he's gone now, but he should be coming back. Hopefully. Yeah, I've blocked them. It's been a while since we've had porn bots show up on Alive. It's usually been pretty good. But yeah, Alan Moore. I'm sure most people know who Alan Moore is. He lives actually within 20 minutes of where I'm actually am right now. He's in Northampton. A friend of mine used to when he went to university in Northampton University. Alan Moore used to show up at a lot of events, so he actually uh, talked to him, I think, several times and met him. And I used to have a signed copy of that from Hell, but I had to sell it at some point. Yeah, I've never read the V for Vendetta and Watchmen. I like his. What got me, what I was introduced to him was through the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, because it's his use of, like, Fu Manchu and all this kind of stuff. He used all the sort of pulpy novels of the early 20th century. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Mark, why they've shown up. But I think when I first started doing some lives, they were showing up occasionally, but they haven't been for a long time. I think the first few times that I did it. Yeah, I've never seen the film V for Vendetta or anything. I don't know. I guess I don't know if Greg's gone for the count here, so we'll wait a little while longer. But yeah, we got 10 people in here now, so uh, and yeah, I'm not sure. Let me see if he sent me a message on Voxer. No, he's gone. Yeah, I bought that when it came out. I still have a copy, and I just never got around to reading it. I'm not sure where it is. I think I've packed it away, sort of. I've taken it off the shelf. But yeah, I definitely want to read that. It is very long. But I got it, and then I don't know what distracted me from reading it, because I pre-ordered it because I was really interested in it. Oh yeah, he said his batteries were going. Yeah, but I thought he'd moved and or got it plugged in, so maybe that's what happened. Phil made some changes with the V for Vendetta. Yeah, yeah, his AOL has expired. Yeah, that was so. I think that I don't know if that was so much in Canada. That's the thing. I remember it being around. Oh, there he is, or somebody's here anyway. There you are. You're back. Did you run out of battery?
Hey, y'all. Yeah, I'm back. Battery issue.
Ah,
So, anybody still with us? What y'all talking about?
yeah. Well, we were just talking about Alan Moore a little bit, and V for Vendetta, the film. That a few things. Like, I've never read V for Vendetta or Watchmen, so. But
What's his? Does he have something called the illustrations?
no, I don't think. Maybe I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with everything.
Something like
He's done
that.
some interesting stuff. He's done something that has to do with old Hollywood. I don't know if it's the 20s or 30s.
I love old Hollywood. I love
Yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah. No, Bigfoot didn't take Alan. He's back now. Yeah, he's done something about that, and I'm not sure. And there's a few other there's all the sequels to the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Well, that was a sequel, actually, I think, from the first one. Or no. Well, there was the first one that was um, the H.G. Wells Mars invasion story, and then the other one was yeah, I really enjoy them. What are you're flipping the camera around? You're gonna get cut off again. Oh, it's frozen. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else. If Alan's froze. Oh, there you're back.
Okay,
Yeah, you froze.
I guess I'll just have to hold it like that. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
I
you
was
need.
trying to show my Bogart posters. I love old Hollywood and Bogart and film noir, black and white.
This right up here are there's 5 volumes of Columbia Noir with I think 5 discs each, so 25 films. And the last one that they've put out is on Bogart. But one of them actually doesn't have Bogart in. It's something that was made by his company, his production company. But it's got five film noirs with or 4 film noirs with him in it. That was made for Columbia.
Very interesting. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I like James Cagney, all that. I studied Casablanca and uh, The Big Sleep. We had that earlier this year about Raymond Chandler, readathon,
Yeah,
Criminale.
I'm still I want to go through the annotated Big Sleep, and I sort of put that on hold, and also look into other things because it's been mentioned before. Lee Brackett worked on the. She was a fantasy science fiction writer, but she worked on the script that actually I think fixed up Faulkner's script that wasn't up to snuff. But that's because yeah, it's just sort of weird. I just could not think of Faulkner doing a screenplay for something like The Big Sleep. It just they don't jive for me. They don't go together. But you know,
Well, Sean, I mean, we all admit, and Brian would admit, and I admit, being hashtag Faulkner in August, everybody, by the way, I'll say it again later, but yeah, Faulkner sold out, Sean. We admit that.
yeah, but I just can't see him having yeah, because if they throw money at him, obviously he's going to take it. Chandler didn't. They offered Chandler like when he did the what is it, Double Indemnity screen. I think it was Double Indemnity.
I
Uh,
love that film with my three sons. Who's
yeah,
that actor's name?
yeah. Oh, I'm blanking now.
Nick something,
Fred McMurray.
Nick
Fred,
something.
yeah, Fred McMurray.
Fred
Uh,
McMurray.
yeah,
There you go.
they threw a whole bunch of money at. I forget how much, like something like several $1,000s a week or something like that for him, and he turned it down. He turned it down. I just found that very very strange. But because he was good, his scripts were really good.
Man, that's an excellent. They say, Sean, that's the first film noir film, double indemnity.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. Some people say that. I think there's ones a bit before that. There's a few, but because there's even silent stuff. Like if you look at Pandora's Box, there's like proto noir. There's stuff that was done in the late 20s that are very, and the gangster films are just sort of working towards the film noir type thing.
Yeah, I
But
love James Cagney, all the.
yeah, I
Oh,
just wish this company that's Indicator that's put out these Columbia ones. I wish they'd put them all out. I think there's about 70 some Columbia film noirs. They're starting now on Universal noirs, um, and I wish they would continue and um, put more out. And like the Fox noirs are pretty good as well. And then there's all the minor ones. Faulkner is not anything like Chandler. His detective would. Colonels. Yeah.
Well, we're doing next season, next August, in Faulkner in August, we're doing Epsilon, Epsilon. Everyone says like that's Faulkner's favorite, best work. Like everyone says,
I've
Ulysses is choices. We're
I've
doing Epsilon, Epsilon.
I've got a
So
hardcover of that. I picked up here. I picked up a hardcover of that many years ago, but 10 years ago. Yeah, Mark was saying, yeah, Fritz Lang's M is sort of, yeah, proto noir as well.
I've got a hardcover as well, Sean. I
Yeah,
picked it
mine.
up at the Portland library sale, but and I've got another one I'll annotate it up by myself. But so please join us, Sean, next
I might
season.
pick up because I do want to look at him again. But you said August. August should be the time that I'll be starting my Clifford
I
D.
don't
Sip.
want to hear any excuses. You have a seat. You have a front seat in Faulkner in August. I want you to be there, Sean. I'm going to take it as a personal affront if you don't.
I'll do my
Maybe.
best. Let's put it that way. I'll do my
Okay.
best because I do have that, and I've
Yeah.
wanted to read it because that's the thing. I've wanted to revisit him at some point, and and because I have that one, that was going to be the first one I was going to read. So
And we just happen to be doing it in August. So no excuses, please. I'd appreciate it. Be a favor to me, Sean. Be a favor to me. I would owe you one.
yeah, and
Okay.
as Mark was saying, we've got August of Adventure as well.
And we have Garb August too with criminality.
And then yeah, there's lots of stuff that I'll be doing the August of Adventure with Mark, and then I'll be doing definitely June on the Range with Michael K. Vaughan again, the westerns. That'll be good.
Okay, well, just try to pencil us in. Faulkner, hashtag Faulkner and God. It's our 5th year, man. It's our
50.
fifth year, John.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 years. Me and Brian at Bookish and Una and Greg is a host now. Roz has been a host for 4 years. I remember when Roz didn't have a channel. She was a commenter extraordinaire.
So I'm just looking up here. I do have a list of everything somewhere here of what I'm doing.
Hey, Mark, are you guys going to read any Wilbur Smith? I like him for adventure. Or
Possibly, yeah. Well, I think well, we haven't really discussed it, but I want to. I've got some actual travel log stuff, not travel log, but exploration books that I want to read. So that's what I'd like to do.
well,
Uh,
yeah, I have FOMO of the like Mark just mentioned the adventures in August. I want to participate in that.
yeah, let me write down August for Absalom. So I'm writing it down.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Up there in August.
It's a great novel, man. It's a sequel to The Sound and the Fury because
Okay, I have
Quentin.
read that a long time ago. I don't remember anything
Well,
about
it's
it.
basically it's a gothic novel with the grandmother, the crazy grandmother up in the attic. Crazy gothic novel. Faulkner telling and not showing. Faulkner will go on and on with his talk. But it's a sequel to Sound and Fury. Epsilon is.
Yeah, Greg is saying there's so many events he can't keep up and he's retired. Yeah, there are so many and there's so many good ones. That's the thing. And it is difficult to keep up. I'm going to scale back a bit next year, or at least I plan to. But yeah. Mark asks, book time with Elvis. Faulkner, did he write enough to keep going for 5 years?
Oh Mark, I'm gonna talk to you about that on Boxer. But I'll say, what was I gonna say?
Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah. I can't move around. I freeze. What
yeah,
I'm doing on my own next year, it's like a bucket list book. I'm doing on my own is War and Peace. Now I'm going to have help from my commenter extraordinaire, Claire Shepherd in England, to help me with just like a strategy of the names. I read Anna Karenina and enjoyed that very much. I group read that with Una and his group read. And so that's why I'm going to do that, but like on my own. Sometime next year, I'll start it. I have two different editions, translations. I have the Anthony Bridges, then I'm getting the Abbott's. But I want to hear what Greg has to say about that,
yeah, yeah.
about the
I've got to
translations.
read War and Peace at some point too. I was supposed to read it earlier this year, but I didn't. And yeah, Buzz says that he's got uh exploration traveler. That's cool. Yeah, because well, like I say, I'm sort of jumping the gun here. Mark and I haven't really talked about it fully, but I want to read that stuff. So I don't know how we're gonna organize August of Adventure this year or next year, I should say. But yeah, Gareth makes a good point here. Uh, that at least a lot of like talking about the events, they're repeated every year, and you can join one year and some, and then another the next year, which is true. Yeah, which is really good. Yeah,
Yeah, well met on BookTube. I love it. I love Boxer too. I say Boxer is my ham radio with all my
yeah,
friends, mostly in Europe. But I was talking to Celia in Norway, and and she's in Brussels actually teaching at a castle. She go send me a picture on Boxer. This is my school where I teach. It's a effing castle in Brussels. It is.
yeah. No, I like Voxer. Everybody talks about Discord, and it just every time I get on there, I'm confused. It just does not make sense to me. And
Me too.
I don't like the full texting thing. I don't know, but somebody said you can do voice messages on there, but I don't know. I haven't figured it out. I haven't figured it.
Boxer's just so easy.
It is, yeah. You just type. It's a chat thing for typing words or messages, or just record a message. That's it. Simple as that.
You can send video, pictures, and all that.
Oh, can you? You can only. I thought you could only send video. Well, I guess if you got the pro one, you can do it probably if you pay
Oh,
for it.
I don't have Pro. I used to, but you can do lots of stuff on Boxer. Like I'm on Criminelli's Discord and MJ's Discord, and that's about it. I used
Yeah,
to be
Gareth.
on.
Yeah, Audible in August is. Sorry, that's another one that's really good. Is I don't know if Gareth's going to do it again. I did about half of it, and then I got ill again, and or a little bit.
Mozart's letters.
Yeah,
I have Audible. I have
no,
Audible. Yeah,
they're
and I
hilarious.
like Mozart. I like Mozart too.
Yeah, they're
Don
hilarious.
Giovanni. You
Mark
tell
was reading a poem that he that Mozart wrote to his mother. It was hilarious.
I'm
Yeah,
getting new glasses, by the way. I have bifocals. That's why I'm always going like that. But I'm
yeah,
getting new glasses next week.
yeah. Greg likes Voxer more than Discord as well. Matt at
Yes.
Science Fiction Reads. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
So yeah, yeah. I think this was your day off. I think Matt. So yeah. So why weren't you here earlier? Oh yeah, Gareth saying he will. Yeah, he'd like to do it again. I think yeah. Yeah, it was a really good idea. I got halfway through it, I think, and that was it. But yeah, no, that was a cool idea because I was doing the Beiderbecke trilogy, and I read well, I wound up reading the first two of them, and I just never did much else with videos for it though. But I really enjoyed it. I might just pick that up again next year, is to continue with the Beiderbecke stuff because I've got a couple biographies of Bix Beiderbecke, so I might read those. But yeah, August is going to be a very busy month though. That's the thing because we got August of Adventures, Audible August. What else? Well, the Faulkner in August, and then I'll be starting my Clifford Simak. But that's going to be a leisure thing, and that's not a group thing. That's just my thing. So that's going to be a very leisurely thing that I'm going to be doing over for a long period of time. Oh, Matt fell asleep. I did too. Actually, I had to have a nap.
Yeah, I've been going all day without a nap. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Well, I
Sometimes I
think
do.
like I need naps every hour or so. I need to have some kind of rest pretty well, or a couple hours with this
I know.
COVID. It's horrible.
What did you have to eat today, Sean, for luncheon?
I ate this morning. I had some lentils and rice, but I haven't eaten since. That's the other thing with the COVID thing. I don't have much of an appetite anymore. I'll sometimes realize that it's like 48 hours that I haven't eaten, and I've got to actually eat.
Yeah, dude, I'm a foodie, man. Yeah, big time.
Yeah, there is Garb August in August.
Yeah, I'll be
I
doing garbage with Ollie. I didn't do it last August, but I'll try to do it this August.
yeah, I
It's
do.
one
There's
I'll do.
much. There's just too much to do. That's the thing. I was sort of going to combine a little bit for because I have a couple. It was Matt that turned me on to these at science fiction reads. It's a Tarzan sort of ripoff, but it's on another planet, and there's a character that's Tarzan like, but he was raised by cats, and there's a trilogy, so I wanted to read that, and I never got around to it yet. But that's on my list to read as well.
You like cats, Sean?
Yeah, I used to have cats. Yeah,
My girlfriend back in Arizona had a cat that was amazing, but I don't particularly like cats. I'm gonna get a dog though, and the secret's out. Not a secret. I've told Greg and told my father, and I've told telling you and everyone out here now. I'm getting a dog. Probably I'm gonna. It's gonna be a rescue dog, small dog. I'm hoping to get a female Chihuahua. My favorites are miniature schnauzers, but I don't want to wait on a list, or I don't have the money to get a AKC blue blood schnauzer because it's $500. So I'm going to do a rescue dog, and I can get a emotional support animal, so I won't have to pay the deposit in my apartment, which is 300. Um, and yeah, I can take it on airplane. I can take it when I come to visit you, Sean. Yeah, my little Chihuahua right here. I'll carry it
yeah. Well,
around.
they're pocket dogs or rugrats, as I call them.
I babysat a female for like 6 months about 10 years ago here in Portland. And we had a backyard though, and we got along great. She slept in my bed. It was good.
They're just too noisy for me. I do not like Chihuahuas. They're just too noisy.
It depends on how you raise them. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I guess most people don't. Mark was saying, but I'll say to that comment, Mark, you're half right, and
well,
we'll
you
leave it
can
at that.
combine Faulkner and Simic. See, I don't know who Simic is. Oh, Mark. Oh, man, I hate to use the F word on you, Mark. You don't like Faulkner either, Mark? Okay. I mean, it's okay.
Well, see this thing. Everybody misunderstood my, or most people misunderstood, and they didn't actually listen closely to my video where I did my 5 detestable authors, because I
Well, you
said this
kind of diss
I
Faulkner,
thought
yeah.
30 some years ago. When I read them, it was over 30 years ago. This is what I thought of them, and then I used an example of what I used to think of, or George Orwell also. But now George Orwell is one of my favorite writers. So that just goes to show. Yeah,
Exactly.
Mark is kidding. He's kidding around.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. But yeah, you mentioned that before, Sean.
Hi.
Well, yeah, I definitely hear you. I don't know what it is about Faulkner, if it's about Civil War. I have relatives in Daytona Beach, Florida, as big, rebel state in the history of America. But I don't know. I always like Faulkner, and maybe it drew. I'm a Joycean too first, so maybe that drew me into Faulkner next. You tell me I can't read something or it's hard, I'm going to try to read it.
Well, like I first came to Southern literature through Thomas Wolfe, and then I
We'll
started
go home
looking
again. Yeah.
Faulkner, and I the main reason was I was trying to compare it to Thomas Wolfe, and it's nothing to say, and I just didn't like it because I really liked Thomas Wolfe. I really like his writing. So nobody does Thomas Wolfe. I should start a Thomas Wolfe a reading thing.
I've read I Can't Go Home Again.
Yeah, no, well, he didn't write a whole lot, but his letters are really good as well. Uh,
Oh.
but yeah, I like Wolf. I could do something, but it wouldn't be a yearly thing. There's not enough to continue with
He's,
Wolf forever.
was he, was he an Ohio native or?
No, he was. Oh, Christ, where was he? Um, oh, I'm blanking at where he grew up. Carolina, Asheville. I think it was could have been Asheville.
Now, Asheville's the shit. That's another Austin. But Asheville's South Carolina, right? Or is it North Carolina? In the comments, please correct me. Asheville's the shite. It's like Austin, Texas is. Everybody from LA and they're all moving to Austin or Asheville.
Here's a comment for you, Alan. Mark saying he's got nothing against Faulkner or Simak, but don't get me started on Joyce.
You don't like Joyce either, Mark.
And then
Is Jason still on here?
sorry to get you started, Mark, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on Joyce. I still have to get to Ulysses, but found portrait just okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah,
go through.
North Carolina. Yeah, Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, yeah, that's the shit. Everybody's moving there. Let me go through my Joyce spiel real fast. Now, because hang on. Una at the Codex Cantina is going to do a Ulysses like read along thing next year. You heard it from me first, and I think we were talking about Sean about the Centennial Catherine Flynn edition of Ulysses,
Yeah,
$35. I'm going to buy 1922 with like before all the uh, corrections and that. So they'll be interesting. So we're going to do that. But before, if anybody wants preparation to read Ulysses, read Dubliners. The same characters reappear in Ulysses in the stories. You skip. a portrait of the artist as a young man, just skip it. The only thing you need to know about that is at the end of portrait, Stephen is in Paris and he gets a telegram saying your mom is dying, come home. Okay, 4 months later is when Ulysses starts.
Hmm.
But read Dubliners before Ulysses, and
Yeah,
you'll be ready.
I sort of announced this that I was going to do it sometime in the new year. I think I was saying Marchish, but I never committed myself. I don't think because I was given a copy of that edition, the annotated edition, the new one.
Yeah,
And
you're blessed with that.
yeah,
It's a brick, isn't it, Sean?
oh, it is. Crikey, you could. Well, it's a door stopper, that's for sure.
But
Yeah,
it's a 1922 edition without all the corrections, and then it has maps on it, and it has introductions from Joyceans. It's a great edition.
yeah.
$35 US. That's what it cost you here at Amazon.
Yeah, they say Idiot Reed says Dubliners was phenomenal. He's read it twice.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark says he's read the Dubliners and Ulysses and started Finnegan's Wake at school. So
Finnegan's Wake is the most humorous book ever written, next
I
to A
don't think
Confederacy of Dunces.
I don't think I ever got fit. Well, I don't think I ever got. I my memory is bad, or at least it's very bad now. I'm pretty sure I read all the way through Ulysses and not Finnegan's Wake, or vice versa, and I can't be sure which now. I know one of them I never finished, but I don't know which. But I definitely want to do Ulysses at some point. And yeah, hopefully it'll be this coming year. But as I say, there's so many things because I want to reread. There's a lot of things I want to reread. I want to do uh, the CP Snow Strangers and Brothers series, reread that, and also finally I have to get through Anthony Pohl's Dance to the Music of Time. I've tried 3 times to read that through, and I only get to the third book, finish the third book, and then something happens, and I've stopped.
It's over my head. Yeah,
But
it's
anyway,
over my head, Sean.
and then Zola. There's there's a Marquette series. There's 20 volumes. I want to read that as well. So there's so much stuff. Uh, Greg is asking what's wrong with the corrected Ulysses.
I like the Gabler edition, 1986. If I'm charging my phone, if I would point out the Gabler, you know, I like the Gabler edition of Ulysses, but I like Random House edition. There's so many editions of Ulysses. I think there's last count 21.
Jeez. And Mark is saying that I think he means Finnegan's Wake. He couldn't get through it, but he was only 17 or 18. I was probably early 20s when I read. That's why I read a lot of stuff when I was probably between 18 and 25. I read just a ton of stuff, and I it's some of it I liked, and some of it I didn't. Some I continued reading, like there's authors that you read your whole life, and I like Balzac is one of them. Alexander Dumas, the French ones were definitely lifelong ones for me, Zola, and so forth.
Yeah. I'm a Finnegan's Wake scholar. If anybody else likes to read Finnegan's Wake as much as I do, please contact me. Uh, yeah, and I've only been reading it for about 20 years. Got turned on in Tempe. I remember They were the guys. We had a group, and Robert Anton Wilson came over one time from Santa Cruz, California, to Tempe, Arizona, and so we were kind of connected. But it started out with three people, and then more people came, and it turned out to be a really good Finnegan's Wake group. Um, but they were talking about things over my head. They were talking about things like Aleister Crowley and the Kabbalah and numbers, numerology, just over my head. I wasn't prepared for it at the time.
Mm.
But since then, in the meantime, 30 years, I've read Finnegan's Wake a number of times, and I've lost my own annotated editions of it. But I have a good annotated edition now. It's the John Bishop edition, and annotated by me. I have a whole playlist on Finnegan's Wake study. If anybody's interested, please hit me up.
There is a question for you, or well, actually for Greg. Was I've been thinking of nabbing Nada's parallel stories, and I think I remember you spoke about it and how.
That's a question for you. No, a question
I've
for
not read
Greg.
it. Yeah, I've not read it, and neither has Greg. It seems.
It's my Portland Rose tattoo, by the way.
Oh, on your elbow. Okay. It's a little
Yeah, I mean, it all hurts, but it really hurts on your elbow, my friends.
There's not a lot in there. It's right into the bone.
Get right in there. Just go. Tattoos. I'm about ready for another one, Sean. Another tattoo right here. See that? That's a hang on a second. That's her doing a crystal ball. That's crystal ball. You see that open space? It's a crystal ball. I'm going to fill that with a traditional American tattoo of a gypsy woman with a scarf, red hair, beautiful. And then I'm going to get my mother's name tattooed, Eileen, in front of it, like Eileen. So, least I can do for my mom right there.
Oh, otherwise, I was gonna say do Louise Brooks. It's perfect for a Louise Brooks picture.
Yeah,
uh,
some
Mark,
kind of pinup.
Mark says he's reading the first Raphael Sabatini. Blows a mind that English was his sixth language. Wow. He was embarrassed by it, so never allowed it to be reprinted, thinking his English is better than mine. Yeah. I've not read. I don't think I've read anything by Sabatini at all. But yeah, you get some the people like that, like not sixth language, but you get Conrad as well, which I think. But some people think he's really boring and it doesn't write well, but I think he does. I really like Conrad.
Conrad, sure.
I really like
I've
him.
got Heart Darkness down there.
Yeah, that one I liked it, but Lord Jim and some others I like a lot more.
Better.
I haven't read everything by him either.
Yeah, and I live in they call it the Hollywood district because we have a big theater. It's a two screen. That's where they have the Lovecraft thing. They have a big sign saying Hollywood Big Theater. But they did what we were talking about. Oh shit! They just did that. What we were talking about?
Well, Bogart, Casablanca,
No, after that. After that.
A Big Sleep.
After that.
After that,
Yeah, just recently. They like it's so fast. They change every week. They have different festivals, and for October they had the Lovecraft and Stephen King. They showed The Shining, things like that. But there's so much going on in Portland. It's really a great city to live in.
Yeah, where I live, it's not so great. Well, there's stuff going on, but it's not great. There's not. But the thing is, being in England, you're close to everywhere else. So if you can travel, you don't have to go far to festivals and so forth. I used to enjoy going to uh, the British Silent Film Festival in years past. And Greg seconds that Conrad is great. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I gotta reread. I want to reread Lord Jim. Definitely is on my list to read at some point. Reread. Except pickleball. Well, in other words, nothing happens by South of it, Greg.
Yeah, it's Greg being funny. But I don't know why Greg doesn't like pickleball. Well, he says he sucks at it. And yeah, I guess you got to take him at his word. But I would like pickleball. I bet.
I don't know, where does Voodoo Donuts come in, Mark. I've lost the thread there.
Voodoo Donuts is a donut place that's in Portland.
Oh,
I've never had donut there. I'm a big coffee fanatic, but I'm not big on the donuts. Maybe it's the association. Maybe it's the association with Caps, IDK. But I don't like donuts very much. But Voodoo Donuts is in Portland and Austin, Texas thing.
oh, I've never heard of it,
Yeah.
but it's a
I'll put
different
a
name.
link up here. Voodoo Donuts is yeah. Ask Greg. He's been at Voodoo Donuts.
Well, he does say they rock. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool name. Oh, the guitar's coming out.
Uh-huh.
You need to tune it there.
So what? I can't see who's on here still.
Well, there's five still. We've gone down. Maple bacon don't. Oh, I don't know if that does not sound good.
That sounds good to me. I'd like to have a bacon maple donut. They have
Maple.
like they have like a Captain Crunch donut. Sounds good to me. Voodoo Donuts is the shit.
Greg says maple bacon donuts are better than crack. And maple and bacon,
He's
like
been to Voodoo.
it just does not compute for me. They do not work together. It's like maple syrup. I hate maple syrup. It's one thing I detest is maple syrup, but I love the sap. I love the taste of the sap
Ah,
before it gets ruined into into maple syrup. Yeah, Mark was wanting a song for me, but yeah, no, that's not going to happen. As I've said before, hell freezes over. But yeah,
Yes,
I think
Greg's been to Voodoo Donuts.
yeah,
He's been
maybe
to
we'll
Portland.
start wrapping this up here. I think because there's only a few people left. I think it's only Mark and Greg and maybe one other person who's lurking.
Yeah, so fuck all them and no, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. My friends, I'm well met on BookTube.
Yeah, thanks for everybody, and yeah, this was fun, Alan. And I think I've got to take another nap and then do some reading.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
catch up with
yeah,
you later, John.
yeah.
I'll text you.
Gareth
Text
was
you later.
yeah. Gareth was here, so yeah. So there's the three there. So thanks for stopping by, Gareth. Uh,
Oh
uh,
yeah, Garrett, thanks.
now I know why you're kicked out of Canada. Yeah. Well, yeah, that could be it. Well, my dad used to make maple syrup, and that's how I know that I like the sap. But they didn't want me to collect the sap very often because I drink half of it. So yeah. So take us out with a song, Alan.
All right, man. Thank you, Sean.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Peace out.